Hey guys, and what's going on? This is Wits here, and we are getting ready for our Week 1 Royal Multi-Battle League match against the Morioh Machamps, and they are coached by one of our good friends, Wacky, and his partner, Dark. They have a pretty scary team, a really offensive-minded base team, with Naganadel, Urshifu Single Strike, Ferrothorn, Rotom Wash, Alakazam, Colossal, Gardevoir, Sneasel, Stonjourner, and Araquanid. As always, I'm joined by my co-coach, Clay.
Hello.
And we have a pretty interesting matchup here against the Machamps. They have like I said, a pretty offensively minded team, but I think we have enough firepower to actually get through them while living the hits that we need to. And you're going to see, based on our screen here, well, there's the shiny Rayquaza, he's just saying hi. But we have a pretty interesting team down below at the bottom here. They're kind of set up in the places that we will be bringing them. For example, the 4 at the top here are going to be the ones that are on my side, and the 4 in the bottom are going to be the ones that are on Clay's side. So we can talk about what mons that we're going to be bringing first, and then the kind of combinations that we're going for. But as we were going through this team builder, we noticed that our grass types put in a lot of work. So that, like, Flapple, Sceptile, Wacky, they all put in a ton of work. However, Flapple is a little too slow for us to actually be able to use it here in this matchup because they have a very fast and hard-hitting team, and Flapple just wasn't cutting it. We also have a pretty big poison weakness, and they have a Naganadel, which is Poison Dragon, which kind of takes care of our grass types. So we needed to figure out a way to kind of get past them. They have 2 inner focus users in Sneasel and Alakazam, so if they were to lead one of them, we cannot fake out that slot to get the free flinch. We could fake it out to break focus ashes, but they just wouldn't be able to flinch. So that kind of deters a couple of our strategies that we were going for in the beginning. But yeah, with that, we can kind of go over what we're bringing and what could potentially be our bluffs. So that's the big thing. So first off is Jirachi. It's a Colbur Berry with an impish nature. Let me pull up its spread real quick. Should have had that prepared. Yeah, that's professionalism at its best. So it is 120 HP, 208 attack, 40 defense, 132 special defense, and 8 speed. Yeah, I go a little crazy when it comes to EV spreads and calcs. Clay can attest to that one.
Just a little.
And Jirachi's running Play Rough, Zen Headbutt, Fire Punch, and Follow Me. So biggest thing, like you said, there's a big poison weakness that we have. Jirachi's a steel type. If we need to Follow Me, we can redirect all those poison types away from our grass types. And just any kind of hit to our Jirachi and be able to kind of tank those hits with the spread that we have. Play Rough with 208 HP, guaranteed kill, or HP, 208 attack, guaranteed kills Urshifu. And also, because of our Colbur Berry, we live a choice-banded Wicked Blow, as well as a choice-banded Sucker Punch, choice-banded Close Combat. Anything that thing wants to go for, we will live because of that Colbur Berry. Zen Headbutt Oko's the Naganadel, 87.5% of the time. I think it does 96.3 to 113%. Fire Punch, guaranteed 2-hit KOs, max defense, max HP Ferrothorn. It does 50% minimum, so it guaranteed 2-hit KOs it unless there's like grassy terrain or leftovers up. And Jirachi's really just there to redirect hits and kind of take care of our opponents if we need him to. Clay, I'll let you talk about the Drift Blim and what we're kind of going for with this guy, because this one's pretty interesting.
Alright, so the Drift Blim, we decided that weakness policy on Burden, being able to trigger that, would be able to pretty much click buns on any one of his mons, minus the 2 rock types, and what was the third one? Ferrothorn?
Ferrothorn, Rotom Wash, Colossal, and Stonjourner.
Yeah, okay. So, at a +2, Acrobatics just kills everything else regarding that, and Obviously, we have Tailwind for support for our other mons, Protect in case we need to, and Destiny Bond to take something down if we can get in that position where we don't, we can't keep Jerkbomb anymore.
Yeah, that's basically it. Weakness policy. You'll see later on what we're going to be using to potentially proc this weakness policy. But to go over its EV spreads a little bit more in depth, it has 72 HP, 144 attack, 48 special defense, and 244 speed with a jolly nature. And the speed plus Unburden will make it so that it guaranteed outspeeds a +1 speed Naganadel. So if Naganadel's Choice Scarf, we will guaranteed outspeed that 100% of the time, no matter what. And then we have the 48 defense and 72 HP. That way we guaranteed live a Shadow Ball from Alakazam. Shadow Ball, Psychic, literally anything that thing wants to go for, we will guaranteed live that. The only way we don't live that is if they are Life Orb and next to Stonjourner, because Power Spot raises your allies' attacks by 1.3 times what it would be. So that's the only way we don't live anything from that slot. Next up, we have Lipard. So this Lipard is a little weird, to say the least. We went through about 4 or 5 different Lipard sets before settling on this one. And even still, I kind of changed the item at the last second, because it was originally going to be a Focus Sash Lipard. But then we noticed Sneasel kind of is a little bit of an issue to our team. So adding that Rocky Helmet, making it so that it'll take a little bit more chip each time it tries to go for a triple axle, is just going to be enough chip that we need to potentially take care of it. It is an Impish nature, again, 120 HP, 220 attack, and 168 defense. The attack, literally just for Okoing Alakazam with Sucker Punch. Enough damage with Fake Out. And his Prankster this week, we decided, again, kind of last second, to switch up to a Prankster set. We were going to bring an Unburden offensive Lipard, but we decided to change it at the last second. And you see that move at the top. It's Screech. So Prankster Screech to lower the defense of the opponents by 2 stages will make it so Drifblim's Acrobatics will do a ton more work. Jirachi's attacks will do a ton more work, and our mons the mons that Clay will be using on the opposite side are mainly physical, and Screech will just be able to target down any kind of slot, and then we can kill whatever we want whenever we want because they have that -2 defense. Thunderwave to cripple their mons, half the speed, give them a 25% chance to not attack. But we can't do that to either the Sneasel or the Urshifu, so we just have to be mindful of that, but we can Fake Out and Sucker Punch everything else. Yeah, the Rocky Helmet just for chip from their physical attackers. And then next up, we have Thwacky. And this one, I actually put in a lot of work when it came to its EVs. This is probably you've heard all of the already intricate EV spreads. Thwacky's is nuts.
It's very precise.
So the Thwacky's holding a Miracle Seed, which will raise the power of its grass type attacks just by a little bit that we need. It has 72 HP, 252 attack, 28 defense, 100 special defense, and 56 speed, with an adamant nature. Yeah, one might be thinking, what is he trying to go for with this? Well, the big thing is, against Alakazam, we live a Life Orb Psychic, guaranteed, from Alakazam. That's kind of nuts. And no matter what, because of the Miracle Seed, if the grassy terrain is up, we will have priority with Grassy Glide. We will Oko every single Alakazam as well. So that thing's dead no matter what. Urshifu, if Urshifu is not choice banded, we guaranteed live a Wicked Blow and a Close Combat. Yeah, that's nutty. And Woodhammer does 73.3 to 86.5. Grassy Glide has a chance to 2-hit KO Urshifu. It's like, damn, man. Thwacky is pretty good. And it doesn't even have to run the Eviolite. Now, again, these are really hard hits that are coming our way, so it's not going to live 2 attacks, but the fact that it can just live 1 is enough because it'll set up the terrain and it'll get off a huge hit. And that's really all we need with Wacky here. And those are the real big ones. I think against the Stonjourner, it OHKOs with Woodhammer. The main thing with that 56 speed as well is if for some reason they bring the Rotom Wash, we will outspeed a defensive Rotom Wash by 2 points. So if for some reason they just put 4 speed in Rotom, we will still outspeed it because it's speed crept that way. Which is still, again, really nutty. Like that every single EV worked out perfectly the way that we needed it to. So yeah, those 4 are the mons that are going to be on my side of the field. So that's the Thwackey, Liepard, Drifblim, and Jirachi. However, next up we have the mons that are going to be on Clay's. Oh, I didn't even talk about Thwacky's moves. Fake Out, Grassy Glide, Woodhammer, Knockoff, all self-explanatory. Fake Out to flinch the opponent, Grassy Glide to get the priority in grassy terrain, Woodhammer for the massive hit, Knockoff to scout some items, get rid of them, do some damage to the, really whatever we need it to. Alright, so next up we have Passimian, our assistant coach.
I think you could do this one.
Yep, go for it.
So it's Scarf to be able to outspeed a good majority of the mons at +1, for example, Naganadel, as well as Urshifu, if it's for some reason gets a Tailwind up, but we know they don't have Tailwind. So being able to abuse speed tiers is actually really good versus this matchup. That's why we have Electro Web, a Quick Guard to be able to protect ourselves from the priority moves, or more specifically, in this case, Drifblim from priority moves. And then Close Combat, obviously self-explanatory, get damage, stab. But then the 4th move is Fling. And so the idea here is that we fling the Choice Scarf onto the Drifblim. It does like 9%.
Mm-hmm.
Triggers weakness policy on Drifblim, and because of how
Unburden
works with that, it will basically go first every single time.
Yeah, it'll double the Drifblim speed, making it really fast.
Really
so
So being able to, then at that point, we don't have to worry about being locked into Fling or anything, so we don't have Choice Scarf anymore, so we'll be able to provide some utility with Electro Web and Quick Guard while doing some damage with Close Combat if needed.
Yep. And then this Passimian, just standard max attack, max speed, like I said, outspeeds Naganadel, which is exactly what we needed it for. It doesn't outspeed a Scarf Naganadel, but I doubt they're going to bring a Scarf Naganadel, and if they do, Drifblim will still outspeed it and take care of it after we fling our Choice Scarf into the Drifblim slot. Next up, Tapu Fini. This one is 100% our bluff. Like, I just ran out of time to make an actual EV spread. I mean, we were going to be bluffing Tapu Fini anyway. But it's got a Kebia Berry. That way, if we, for some reason, need to bring it, we have the opportunity to live hits against the Naganadel. Misty Surge. It is a Impish nature. Sorry, not Impish. That is a Bold nature. My bad.
Jolly, by the way. I forgot to say that.
Oh yeah, you're good. It's a Bold nature, 184 HP, 220 defense, 40 special attack, 48 special defense, and 16 speed. 16 speed, same reason for the Rotom. It hits just enough speed to outspeed it if they speed creep it by a stage or two. The 220, make sure against the Urshifu we're not taking too much damage, especially against a Poison Jab. And then Draining Kiss will do a lot of damage back to the Urshifu, getting our health right back up. It actually OHKOs it. With that 40 special attack. Then against Naganadel, if they go for a Sludge Wave, it's only doing like 34% for the first hit, and then the next hit, it won't be in range because of the Draining Kiss. We'll get enough recovery back that will live the second Sludge Wave. And if they go for Sludge Bomb, even better, because then we'll we take care of it in the first one, either Nature's Madness or get some Draining Kisses off into that slot, and then just to be able to take care of the Naganadel before Fini would take too much damage. And we do have Heal Pulse and Muddy Water as well. Muddy Water to something to hit the Colossal with. Heal Pulse to heal up our team if we need the recovery. Nature's Madness to cut the opponent's HP stat in half. And Draining Kiss for a little bit of recovery on our side too. And next up, we have Sceptile. You want this, Clay?
Yeah. I probably you definitely would have to explain the intricacies of it.
Oh yeah, I got
know
you.
the basics of it. So,
Hey, this one was all you. You got the majority of this one when we were building this.
yeah. So this is Grassy Seed Sceptile with Unburden, obviously. So when we send it out in grassy terrain, or grassy terrain gets activated, the seed will proc as well as Unburden. We have 252 attack, 232 special attack, and 24 speed. After Unburdened, 24 speed is all we need to outspeed pretty much anything in most circumstances. Then we're obviously alone in nature for the increased attack, but then we're Sword Stance, Scale Shot, Low Kick, and Leaf Storm. Scale Shot was actually my idea. I was looking through it, and I was trying to figure out what a good way to do with the Ganondel is. It was an Earthquake, because obviously if you're in grassy terrain, your Earthquake power gets reduced. And obviously it's multi-battle too, so that even more so. Scale Shot actually allows us to basically OHKO it back, as well as gain the additional speed, even though at that point I don't think we need it.
Yeah, no, the speed, it's literally really not for the speed purposes. Scale Shot's literally there for the multi-hit against the Naganadel. Because partnered up with Lipard, if Lipard were to screech the Naganadel, Scale Shot OHKOs Naganadel in like 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah, it doesn't even need the full thing. So, and then obviously we have Leaf Storm for grass-type stab, as well as coverage, which is why we have 232 special attack just for the Leaf Storm alone. Because I believe that's all we needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we take care of a lot of their team just with Scale Shot and Low Kick with the Sword Stance up, and then Leaf Storm, if we can just get a 1 or 2 hits off, that's all we'll need it for. If Stunjourner is in there, even if we're like -2, -4, Leaf Storm will still OHKO Stunjourner. It is very weak on the special defense side. So we can use Leaf Storm multiple times and be perfectly fine. The Sword Stance is there to power up our low kicks for against Colossal, Ferrothorn. And then you have Scale Shot, like we said, for the Naganadel, as well as to potentially break Focus Sashes on Alakazam and Sneasel. So those are the main things. Because against that Sneasel, Scale Shot is only doing, with 3 hits, like 44 to 52. But at +2, it takes care of it in 4 hits. But at that point, it'll be chipped enough that Scale Shot will really only need to do 3 hits and be fine. And then same thing for against that Alakazam, because Zam can be a little bit tough to take care of from that side. So Scale Shot is just going to do enough to break the Focus Sash as well as take care of the Alakazam. And then our last mon on this side is Dracozolt. So biggest thing when it comes to the Dracozolt, it has Life Orb, it has Hustle, but it's mixed. It has high horsepower and earth power, because we need to make sure that we actually hit that Stunjourner and Colossal. Because like we said, the Stunjourner has 20 base special defense. Earth Power takes care of it when high horsepower doesn't, even with Hustle. Earth Power is still stronger. Flamethrower for the Ferrothorn, it helps take care of that. Flamethrower plus Acrobatics kills the Ferrothorn every single time from every single position. And then you have Bolt Beak. It's a Dracozolt. You always have to have Bolt Beak. It becomes a base 170 move if you go first. So with Drifblim's Tailwind, Dracozolt will basically outspeed everything. Get off massive Bolt Beaks, massive high horsepowers. We just have to hope those hit, because we are Hustle, so they become 80 accuracy moves. Basically, we're playing with Stone Edges. High horsepower actually becomes a 82.5 accuracy move. Nope, sorry. 77.5% accuracy move because it is base 95. But yeah, Flamethrower will, even at 0 special attack, does enough to Ferrothorn that we need it to be able to take care of that. Bolt Beak obliterates majority of the team. High horsepower takes care of Naganadel. Earth Power, like we said, for that Stunjourner. Because I'm fairly certain against the Colossal, high horsepower still kills the Colossal, whereas Earth Power wouldn't. But again, it's that Stunjourner that was the issue So Earth Power will just get rid of that instantly. So yeah, those are our 8 Mons. So like we were talking about with our bluffs, we already mentioned Tapu Fini is the one bluff. We're actually going to be bluffing Jirachi. Like, it's okay in this matchup, but the Lipard's utility is just too much for us to leave it on the bench. And if we see in the matchup that we need Jirachi over Lipard, then we'll just bring Jirachi. That's why we made the sets the way that we did. Is there are 8 very viable Mons, and we can pick and choose what we want. So our main first strategy is, like we said in the beginning, is Passimian next to Drift Blim to be able to fling the Choice Scarf onto the Drift Blim spot, activating the weakness policy, and then taking care of at least one thing on the opposite side of the field. And then the second one is Wacky next to Dracozolt. Do you want to explain why we were doing Wacky and Dracozolt there together, Clay? Or?
I honestly don't remember the reason. I was...
No, that's perfectly fine. So Thwacky with a fake out just does a ton of... It just fakes something out, and Dracozolt, massive power, obliterates at least one thing on the field. It lives every attack that we need it to live. So if they lead Naganadel and Sneasel, for example, it won't live a Sneasel's attack, so we wouldn't want to leave Dracozolt in against the Sneasel. But we'd fake out the Naganadel and attack and kill the Naganadel with Dracozolt there. Same thing if we want to lead with Sceptile. We fake out the one slot, attack the other. So say that Sneasel's in against us, we fake out the Naganadel, low kick the Sneasel to take care of it, and then the following turn we can scale shot and grassy glide into that Naganadel slot, depending on what we need it for. Lipard, a potential lead, because we can click fake out. So if we go Lipard and Dracozolt, we can fake out, same thing, or we can just Screech or Thunderwave something to be able to take care of it from that end. Because again, Dracozolt, massive hitter, and especially if something has -2 defense, we're all set. So that's really our thinking for against this match. We're kind of predicting the Naganadel, Urshifu, Ferrothorn, Alakazam, Colossal, Sneasel, and Stonjourner. We don't really see the other 2 coming in Gardevoir or Araquanid. They could come, but we are prepared for them if they are coming, because we have a lot to take care of this Araquanid. We have a lot to take care of the Gardevoir. We're not really as worried if they do come. So the only thing, if Gardevoir comes, that we'll have to be worried about is if they trace our Unburden and use it against us, which is why we only put Unburden on Drift Blim and Sceptile, as opposed to putting it on Lipard as well. So we just have to be wary of which side that Gardevoir is on, so we know how to go accordingly. But yeah, that's basically it. Anything else you want to say, Clay?
No. I just hope this Choice Scarf Fling strat works the way we intended to.
Yeah, here's hoping. But yeah, so good luck to our opponents. This team builder is going to be going up on Saturday, and all of the battles will be going up on Sundays. So just keep an eye on the channel. And we record the team builders before the matches, and then they'll get posted after we play the match, so our opponents won't be able to see what we're building prior to the match actually starting. So I want to wish our opponents, Locky and Dark, good luck in our match. It's actually going to be happening in about 10 minutes or so we're kind of rushing through this team builder. But we hope you enjoy. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Share this with anybody who you think might be interested in Pokemon Draft Leagues. And if you want to learn more, be sure to follow my channel. I'll be posting a little bit more when it comes to Draft Leagues coming up very soon. Enjoy. Hope everybody has a good morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are and watching this video. Peace.